Well, here we are. It's just before 7 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, October the 9th, 2025. We'll be doing day 4 of the tile install in our kitchen, and Dylan should be here in about an hour. I have to go and get a new starter motor at 7:30, so won't be here when he gets here, but he'll get going on his own, I'm sure. So yesterday, he was able to lay in 4 rows of tile. We started at the east end here with the layout. That took actually a couple of hours just to get organized to make sure that we were going to end up with about 3/4 of a tile at this end next to the nosing, and at the other end almost a full tile, so it's going to look good. I'm going to have a short little tile there at the end. I think the one at the end here is 21 inches, so yeah, pretty well full tile, so it's going to look great. And we organized it at the other end to have a tile that would be short of the doorway here, so that we wouldn't have to. It wouldn't look good if it was projecting into the doorway. So we're going to end up with about an 18-inch tile here. It's going to look great. And Dylan rather, he did a great job of undercutting the door jamb, pretty tight fit, using his trusty multi-tool. And he kind of pointed out something which I never even thought of, that his mentor Merrick taught him, and that is to make sure you're inside the door jamb about a 1/2 inch, so that when you go to put the trim on, it's kind of ideal if you don't have the door casing on. That just makes it a bit more of a pain to deal with. So the casing's off, but normally the reveal on the casing would be, a minimum 1/8 of an inch, so anywhere from an 1/8 to 1/4, even 5/16. So if you set the tile so that it's back a 1/2 inch, you're not going to get a nasty little gap there when you set the reveal. So you don't want to be just inside, barely the jamb. A lot of guys don't think about that. In fact, a lot of people don't even undercut the jamb. They just try to cut the tile around the door jamb and the door stop there, which doesn't look pretty. And the other detail, which is important, which I actually never thought of, is to make sure that when the door is closed, you're only going to see one type of flooring. So on this side over here, going into the living room, we're going to be putting some maple hardwood. So when you close the door, ideally, you don't want to see the tile from the kitchen. You'll just be seeing the hardwood. So that's something I never really thought of. And so if we stop the tile right there, just past the jamb on this side. And so when Walter and I prepared the subfloor, that's what we did, because Dylan gave us the heads up on that. Otherwise, I probably would have just went halfway or something, or maybe to the other side of the door stop. So this is going to look a lot better. Details matter. Another thing we discovered yesterday, which we had thought about, but when we laid the Ditra, a piece of Ditra on top of this Ditra, that sort of account for the thickness of the mortar, and then we put the tile on top, we realized that it's going to be too proud. I mean, proud is good, but not too proud. So the way it is now, with putting the bullnose basically right on top of the 5/8, you're going to end up with a lip here, which is not going to be good. So I measured it, it's going to be about 5/16, or maybe a little less because the mortar might be a little thicker. But so what we're going to do is we're going to tear this out after we put the tile in. And to make that a little easier, Dylan cut off the corners here with this multi-tool on both sides. And also he put a double cut here in the middle, diagonal cut, so we can chisel that out, and then we can take off the bullnose a lot easier and put a new piece in. Now, I did kind of notice too, which I never noticed before, that there is a piece of 1x2 underneath, and I think it goes right up to the top of the 5/8 subfloor. So I think it would be a good idea to remove that, so when we put the maple risers, I'm not sure if we're going to just use 3/4 inch boards or something thinner, we can, ease it up underneath the bullnose, hopefully tight to it, and otherwise it would be a bit of a pain getting that out, and then you don't want the riser to be, and you want the bullnose to go over the riser so you don't see that crack. That's ideal. So it's going to be okay for the rest of the treads, but not for the top one. So that'll solve that problem too. So in a way, that's fortuitous. There you go. So Thursday, October the 9th, day 4 of the install. Today, hopefully we can get tiled up to the north wall, close enough that he can walk around it. And then I guess he's going to have to come back tomorrow and finish the perimeter of the tile. And then today I think he's planning to remove these wedges and snap off the spacers and start cleaning between the tiles so that he can have room to put the grout. So he's going to wash it, so that all takes time too. So a lot more involved than you think to putting tile in, especially doing a good job. And Dylan's doing a great job.